Now on the Crown 4 Morning News, the man accused of shooting 7 people in Half Moon Bay is due in court today. We break down what charges he could be facing. Meanwhile, the community of Half Moon Bay is in mourning as they try to pick up the pieces following Monday's shooting. And just days before the NFC Championship game, a member of the 49ers arrested and accused of domestic violence.
Now, from the Bay Area's local news station, you're watching the Crown 4 Morning News at 5.
Good morning. We're happy to be with you this Wednesday morning. I'm Daria.
And I'm James. On this Wednesday, we're waking up to, once again, clear skies.
Yeah.
Temperatures also still cool, a lot like yesterday, as a matter of fact.
I'll take another. Dave, good morning.
Good morning, James and Daria, and good morning, everybody. We're clear skies and a nice clear view we have as well. Not much the way of fog as we still remain dry. Going to kind of reinforce some of that dry air with some offshore winds expected to pop a little bit this afternoon and into this evening. Current temperatures, as you heard, yeah, it's so cool. In the East Bay, plenty of 30s to be had, also up in the North Bay, with only some 40s hugging the East Bay shoreline and down south to San Carlos. Palo Alto even at 36 and 40 for San Jose. And that contrast still shows that we're a little bit behind up in the North Bay and the East Bay this morning, contrasted with yesterday. Those winds, somewhat uneventful now, but again, the dry air is kind of settling here from what we've already had. Reinforcements expected through Solano County, spilling in and across portions of the bay, but this won't be as widespread as his predecessor was this weekend. 45 at 9 a.m. at 12, we're at 56, but some areas inland, particularly in the North Bay and Sonoma County, you may pop into the upper 60s this afternoon. More on that in a bit. Right now, Raina, what's going on with traffic?
All right, let's get you moving this morning, leaving your house, and you're heading into the city right now. It's going to take you 7 minutes to make that drive, Maze to that Fremont Street exit. Our San Mateo Bridge, A80 to 101, 12 minutes as you're traveling across towards the peninsula. Richmond San Rafael Bridge, tolls to 101, about 7 minutes, and the Golden Gate Bridge, 37 to the tolls, 19-minute morning ride. Daria, James, back to you. Thank you, Raina. 5:01 is the time right now, and today charges will be filed against the man accused of killing 7 people in Half Moon Bay.
And he's expected to make his first court appearance today. We have Crown 4's Michael Thomas standing by live in Redwood City with the latest on that part of the story. Good morning, Michael.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. That's right. You know, this felony arraignment is set for later this afternoon with anticipated charges that include 7 counts of murder. And according to officials, as of right now, all of the evidence points to workplace violence. Take another look. We're going to get details up on your screen. This is a photo of the suspect that's in custody, 66-year-old Chun-Li Zhao. He's accused of shooting and killing 7 people. Now, court appearance is set for 1:30 this afternoon here at the Hall of Justice in Redwood City. The charge is expected to be filed to be 7 counts of murder, 1 count of attempted murder, and a special circumstance allegation of multiple murder. Now, according to officials, a semi-automatic handgun that was found in Zhao's car on Monday was legally purchased. And when it comes to a motive, well, the San Mateo Sheriff's Office says that's still under investigation. But again, all evidence is pointing to workplace violence. Now, Zhao is said to have worked at one of the 2 agricultural farms where the shootings took place. When it comes to those victims, well, according to officials, that we do know there was a mix of Asian and Hispanic, both men and women. Now, the San Mateo District Attorney says that Half Moon Bay has never seen this many deaths at one scene. And when it comes to Zhao's past, our team actually did some digging, and they say that there may be, according to court documents, a history of him having some violence among other co-workers. So as we get more information, we'll continue to keep you updated. And of course, we'll be here at the courthouse this afternoon. I'll send it back to you guys live in the studio this morning.
Okay, Michael, thank you very much.
And we're getting a glimpse of some of the workplace conflicts surrounding the accused shooter. Court documents out of Santa Clara County show that he had a restraining order against him filed by a former coworker. Crown 4's Justin Campbell reports from San Jose.
Suspected gunman Chun-Li Zhao lived in this San Jose neighborhood near 280 and Saratoga Avenue. Back in 2013, a judge issued a restraining order against him after he attacked his roommate. According to a temporary restraining order filed in Santa Clara County Superior Court in 2013, Zhao and his roommate worked at a restaurant in San Jose until Zhao quit. But soon after, according to the court documents, Zhao threatened to split his roommate's head open with a knife if he didn't help him get his job back. The man also accused Zhao of entering his room early in the morning and demanding him to give him his check from the restaurant he recently quit. When the man said he didn't have it, Zhao allegedly said, quote, "Today I am going to kill you," and tried to suffocate the roommate with a pillow. A Santa Clara County judge eventually allowed the temporary restraining order to expire. Cronford tried to see if neighbors remembered Zhao, but everyone we spoke to said it's a transient neighborhood and didn't remember his face. Reporting in San Jose, Justin Campbell, KRON 4 News.
Well, meanwhile, a vigil dedicated to the victims of the mass shooting is growing in Half Moon Bay, a memorial that is.
People are coming by to pay their respects and trying to come together as a community, support each other. KRON 4's Will Tran is live in Half Moon Bay with more. Good morning, Will.
James, Daria, I'm in downtown Half Moon Bay, and as you can see, the candles are still burning right behind me. A lot of people have been showing up down here, even though the locations of the massacres are about 2 miles from this particular location. I'll step out and I'll show you what you would see if you were here. You can clearly see there is a sign right there that says, "As a community, we grieve." And I've already seen on social media, Half Moon Bay strong. You can see the flowers, you can see the candles. Let me show you some video. It's not just the community that is grieving. It's also, of course, Governor Gavin Newsom. Here's video of him yesterday in Half Moon Bay. He actually was in Monterey Park consoling the victims, talking to the survivors as well of Half Moon Bay, of Monterey Park, that what we saw over the weekend. And all of a sudden, he said that he had to be ripped away from that after he learned the news of what happened in Half Moon Bay. He came here, he joined the community, he was very passionate about gun violence, about what is going on, and he even reiterated the phrase that a lot of people have been saying, only in America that it happens. A lot of people, not just Governor Gavin Newsom, but local politicians like the vice mayor chiming in, talking about they know the victims as well as the suspected gunman.
I was very surprised, when I watched the news clips. So it's somebody I was familiar with, somebody I had contact with, brought in like the resources. We were just there before Christmas. We brought food, gifts for everybody there, including for him.
Live in Half Moon Bay, Gloria Rodriguez, ABC 7.
And James, Daria, we have learned that the suspected gunman actually stayed at one of the sites, the location of scene number 1 that we reported all day yesterday, that he actually lived at the site for about 7 years. Just to clear up some logistics, I drove right by that site. We thought it would take a couple of days for them to clear it. It looks like the San Mateo County Sheriff's Department and all of their deputies are gone. But of course, no one is going to forget what happened. And we do expect this vigil to grow and more people showing up throughout the morning. And of course, we will bring you reaction. Back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Will.
Well, there is now a fund set up to support the families impacted by the shooting there in Half Moon Bay. ALAS is a nonprofit that's been helping coastal workers during the pandemic. They also helped them out with recent flooding and now the mass shooting. Volunteers filled an SUV with blankets, bottled water, and clothes and flowers from the community. The relief fund was set up after hearing that that's perhaps what they need most right now.
We're hearing the most concern is, they're not working. They've already not been working because of the flood. And now this, so the economic relief, we're going to have to help some of the families with funeral support, with immediate clothing, basic of needs, and just ongoing to see what's going to be out there for them.
Volunteers have been shuttling donations to the families of the victims. We have a link on our website for the fund that's been set up by ALAS and Coastside Hope. Attorney General Rob Bonta is issuing, a warning for people trying to support those affected by mass shootings. His office is warning that there are fake crowdfunding pages being set up now for the victims of the shooting. He says make sure you send your support to a legitimate group. And to that end, he says you should research the organization, contact the organizer, in fact, and ask questions. And don't be afraid to be suspicious. Be diligent. Make sure your money's going where it can do good.
It's 5:08, and in the East Bay, Oakland police are calling another deadly mass shooting at a gas station a targeted attack. 40 to 50 people were recording a music video Monday night when several shooters started firing from various locations. Police suspect that this may have been gang-related. They and members of the community are calling for peace and no retaliation. This happened at a gas station parking lot near Mills College. 5 people were hit by gunfire. One, an 18-year-old named Mario Navarro, died of his injuries.
At this time, we are aware of 6 additional victims ranging in ages from 15 to 63. One vehicle was struck by stray bullets as they left the scene. Another victim had a stray bullet enter their place of business. A driver and passengers were injured as they were involved in a solo vehicle accident while they were fleeing the scene.
And one person is still in the hospital this morning, and that scene, there were shell casings all over the place that the police collected, so they do have a good sense of who was involved. That's what the police think. A community advisory was issued after a man grabbed a woman and he was trying to take her car. This happened yesterday around 5 in the evening near Hearst Avenue and Euclid Avenue. Now, luckily, she was able to run away into a nearby cafe, but the man who did it still at large.
Still ahead on the KRON 4 Morning News, a player for the 49ers arrested now ahead of the NFC Championship matchup against the Eagles for an alleged domestic violence attack. We're going to have an update from police. And the Secret Service releasing new reports about the mass shootings across the country. We'll take a look at what they've discovered as well. And after the break, we're going to hear from a woman who survived the Gilroy Garlic Festival shooting back in 2019 and how she's trying to make sense of the recent events in Half Moon Bay.
All right, it's more of the sunshine and dry conditions we've been talking about, although temperatures in the East Bay maybe not as generous as up in the North Bay. We'll take a look at another dry forecast for today. Raina.
All right, before you leave the house, you need to know what the traffic looks like. We're tracking those drive times. We'll be right back after the break.